A mother is something very special. She's the first heartbeat you hear in the womb. She's the first voice you recognize. And something from that prenatal stage of your life carries through even into your adulthood. Nothing compares to the sound of your mother's voice. Today, I'm going to sit down and talk to my beautiful wife, Kavita, about what it's like to be a mother. Okay, so before we get started, I want to tell you about how I see Kavita as a mother. She doesn't know that I was going to do this, so surprise. But this is how I see her through my lens, right? She's the first one up every morning. She gets the house ready. Before we even know what's going on, the house is clean. We all come down to a set table. There are so many things that she does just to make sure that the day starts off right for everyone. And that carries on throughout the day. Things are kept where they should be. Food is prepared. Not that I don't cook, I cook also.
Yeah, of course. Delicious food.
But I think she does a lot more than she gives herself credit for. And I look at everything that we have, the home, the love, the spirit of family that exists in our lives, and none of that would be possible without Kavita. In my mind, she is literally the glue that holds us all together. That's huge because it is what keeps us going. So I just wanted to let you know, I see that, I notice that every single day. And when I lay my head down to rest at night, every single day I thank God that I have someone in my life who is so devoted to her role. Not just as a wife, but as a mother.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
If you could see her now, you can tell that she's blushing.
I am. It is a surprise.
Okay, so our format today is going to be a bit different, right? We don't have a script. We didn't plan anything. This is literally going to be me and Kavita talking to each other about what it's like being a mother, especially for her, in the context of her life. So, shall we just jump right into it?
Of course.
Okay, question number 1. When you became a mother for the first time, what was the first thing you realized you had no idea how to do?
Change a diaper, probably. So, yeah. You literally you won't have any idea of anything at all. Nothing. Right? So, it's just the beginner. You're new to everything. And then comes a child, a human that you have to look after. You have to make sure that he stays alive, right? Your child. So what do? And it is not like a survival kit kind of a thing you get and some kind of a training or nothing. It's just purely instinct. So
I remember you told me this when Tristan was born. Tristan's our firstborn, right? Just before he was born, we were so worried that we didn't know how to do anything. We'd never been parents before.
Correct.
We had no idea how to tackle anything. And of course, after he was born, we had people who guided us through some of the basic essentials, right? Like how to shower a child, how to change in. My mom, my grandma.
yeah.
But I also remember you telling me that the moment Tristan was born, instinct took over.
Yes.
And suddenly it just became natural.
Natural. Yes, correct.
Do you remember that?
You don't need to have some sort of training or lessons before being a mother, because once you're a mother, you would automatically have the instinct. The instinct kicks in and you would know what to do automatically, right? It comes natural. So for me, that's how it happened. I didn't know how to nurse a child, and I didn't know how to soothe a child. I didn't know what to do if he's crying or whatever, right? But all those things comes naturally. And you learn throughout every day, every single day, because every day is a new thing for you. One day he could be not feeling well, or in the next day he's having colic. Every day is something new, and every day is a surprise for us, right? And those are the things that we weren't expecting, like what should we do? But it comes naturally, right? You do your research and then you try this and that or whatever, or you ask opinions. Of course, you ask those who were parents before, and of course you ask your mom and grandmothers or whoever has had experience before. So that's how you handle the situation.
It's not just about showering the child or feeding the child or changing the child. It was also things that we learned along the way, right? Remember the importance of a routine.
Oh, that was something that I would say I struggled the most, because I didn't know that I had to draw a line. So I'm just saying, my advice is, you have a child, just remember, always draw the line, right? And the line has to be between you and the people who is going to come and be involved in your child's life. Could be anybody, could be grandparents, could be parents, could be neighbors, could be aunts, uncles, whoever, right? But you have to draw the line, because that's the thing that will give you the sanity.
Yes.
Trust me. Because if you're not going to draw the line, everyone is going to be involved, everyone is going to give you an opinion, and you as a parent, you're trying everything, right? You're not just purely relying on instinct, but you're trying every single thing to ensure that your child lives and your child gets everything that he or she needs. So you're going to try everything that people say this and that or whatever. That's what I did, the mistake I did. I listened to a lots of things, and it made me so confused. In the end of the day, I sit down. At times, I even break down, right? I can even break down and think, God, am I doing this right? What am I doing wrong? I feel so overwhelmed. There's so much of emotions in you, right? Being a first-time parent is not easy. You're handling a human being, right? So when you draw the line, that's where you know that you are giving space not only to yourself, but to understand more things about your child. So you bond better with your child. That's the space that you need.
Yep. That was important. It was a big realization for us, I think, when we realized that, right?
Yeah.
That it's not all about the child, it's
Yes.
also about us.
Correct.
And the first time we actually managed to sit down and rest after Tristan was born, I remember, was when we set those guardrails.
Yes.
And we put him to bed on time.
Yes.
And you and I came down and we could actually sit down together after that and watch a movie or do something that was not Tristan related.
But let me tell you, this was 8 months later.
This was 8 months later.
Not
so
what?
for 8 months we started.
Not 8 days, not
Yeah.
8 hours. It was 8 months later that then we realized this is what we had to do and this is what we needed to do.
And it got us back our sanity, right?
Yes.
That is when we finally felt like normal people again.
Absolutely.
Right. And so that segues very nicely into my next question. And I think it applies to both of us to an extent, but maybe more so for you, in that we didn't really have a template of how we should do this the right way that we could refer to. You were building something for the boys that nobody had built for you.
Yes.
You had no reference point. So how do you even know what it's supposed to look like?
Like I mentioned, it's all instinct. It is all instinct. It's all a lot of instincts and a lot of prayers, to be honest. All you have to do is, when you have that time, when you have already drawn the line, you have that time for yourself. So in the end of the day, when everything is settled, you sit down and you pray, and then you know that you will get answers like, what are you doing wrong? What are you doing right? So I didn't get that same privilege or attention. At least I couldn't remember, right? Maybe I was too small, or at least even the time that I could remember, I know that I wasn't raised the way that I'm raising my children, right? So I don't know what I'm doing right or wrong or whatever it is. But the most important thing, the end of the day, is just to sit and submit and pray, a lot of prayers, right? You have to be calm in every situation. Might be storm around the whole day that you are dealing with a crying child. And remember, Tristan especially had colic. So that will go on for hours and hours, and it will
It
just...
used to start at 2 a.m. in the morning and until 4 a.m.
Yes, and he was being that only child that time, the firstborn and the only child that time. And you just go hours and hours. That alone drains every single thing that is inside of you. So you, in the end of the day, you would not have that energy or whatever. But give the time to yourself to sit down and just take a deep breath. In the end of the day, this is what I understand being a parent or a mom, right? You have to have your me time. Be it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but it's very important. When you have that me time, everything settles. Then you are up for the next day, a brand new day already. It's a battle for me. But it is important for you to have that window. So you can just sit and submit and surrender to God and whatever it is. Trust God. Because in the end of the day, He is guiding you. I'm not doing things by my own. He is telling me what to do, right? So that moment for yourself could be the beginning of the day or end of the day, but it is important for you to have that, to maintain your sanity.
And Tristan wasn't an easy first child to learn all this with.
Not at all.
Out of the four, I think he was the hardest, right?
Hardest, yes.
Because Ethan came out and Ethan was perfect in every way, right? He would go to sleep on time. He wouldn't wake up in the middle of the night. He started to learn how to walk and talk very quickly. He was very independent from the day he was born.
You barely will know that Ethan is even there.
Yeah, that's right. And Jaden, even with the hearing loss, Jaden was still easier. But Tristan, my God, Tristan he would not go to sleep. You'd have to spend hours just to get him to sleep. And then he would wake up 2 hours later and you'd have to spend hours putting him back to sleep again. Throughout the day, he was always unhappy. I think he had colic, like you said, and he had a lot of gas, so he would have a lot of discomfort. We struggled, right? I remember us just being absolutely exhausted. But I want to point you towards two things that changed things for us. One was the routine, and do you remember why we implemented the routine and we started becoming strict with the routine? It was because Tristan was the first grandson and great-grandson in the family.
Yes, of course.
So he was a celebrity.
Yes,
and from the day he was born, everybody wanted to always come and spend time with Tristan.
He was always the highlight, the star.
Yeah, and it would be working days. People would come, and people, I say relatives, right? No shade thrown at them. They were just excited that Tristan was born. But they would come after work, and sometimes they would come very late, and they would leave very late. And Tristan was only going to bed at 11, 12, sometimes even 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Because every time they came, they was like, oh, where's Tristan? We want to see Tristan. And at first, we were trying to be accommodating, right?
Because being nice,
Tristan is a part of the family, the larger family, not just our family. But at one point, we just said, enough.
Yeah.
You remember?
This is the part that we realized that it was going out of hand just because we were being kind and, we were being nice enough. And that was actually affecting us.
Yep.
Slowly, but surely it did, yeah.
It did, because if they left at 1 and Tristan only goes to sleep at 1, then you're up at 2 because he's got his colic and you got to we were exhausted.
Oh, exhausted, yeah. I remember daily we were just getting about nearly maybe 2 hours or 3 hours sleep.
3 hours if you're lucky.
Yeah, and the next day you had to go to work. And I remember I wasn't working at that time because I wanted to focus on Tristan, mainly wanted to spend the first 1 or 2 years with him, even though it was hard, but still.
And the second thing that we became very firm on was food.
Yes.
And it's something that I feel a bit proud of, because every parent always asks us, how do you teach your children to eat?
Oh.
So all our 4 boys, even Aiden at 3 years old, they eat everything. We don't cook special meals for them.
Separate, yeah.
They eat what we eat, and coming from Malaysia, we eat spicy food. So they eat spicy, they eat all their vegetables.
Yes.
Do you remember what that was like?
Yes. Initially, of course, it was always like they struggled and no and whatever, right?
I don't want this, I don't want that.
Yeah. Once they have started solid and they have tried different tastes, they learn that this is different taste and this is different or whatever, then they'll start to say no to certain things, right?
Yep.
But my husband here is the one who is in that food area. So yeah, no one messes around with that. And up to today, you'd be surprised how, when you see Tristan eats, you'll be surprised how spicy he can eat. Even the rest of them, the three of them as well. All of them, to be honest. Any vegetable, anything, they just can eat everything. So that's the one of the thing that I'm actually very proud of them. Yeah, and even when other parents sees them as well, it's like, how do you train them? How do you do this? Get them to eat all kinds of vegetable. Yeah.
It was hardcore training, right? It was a food boot camp for them.
Yeah.
I know it's a mother's episode, but just small snippet from dad here. If you want them to be okay with food, that period of resistance is a very short period.
Yes.
You just got to get through that
Yes.
hump.
Yeah.
1 week, 2 weeks, they will say, I don't want this, I don't want that. Yuck. Don't give them an option.
Yeah.
You're going to eat what we eat. And we started this with them at around 1 year old.
1 year old.
At
when
around
they
1 year
started
old.
solid, yeah.
And after that 2 week period, they eat everything. Until today, they eat everything.
It was just a small window that you have to go through.
Yeah.
And of course, they're also probably going to hate you for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just a small window which you will see in a long run the outcome.
And they are foodies today. Ethan
Yes.
loves to eat oysters.
Yes.
Tristan loves to eat the spiciest Indian food that we can find.
Everything under the sun, name it. It's so easy to manage. It is so easy. You just cook one meal for everyone and that's it. Everyone is happy.
Next question. We talk about all the big moments, right, that we've been through in the last few episodes about Jaden's hearing loss, you dealing with the loss of your mom, how we dealt with unemployment, how we went through all of those big situations. But what's it like on a normal day when there's no big miracle happening? It's very easy to keep going when a big miracle is happening, right? But on a normal day, on a normal Tuesday, or even better, on a Wednesday, when you wake up and it's the middle of the week and that you're already exhausted because 2 days have gone past,
Yeah.
what's it like holding it together when you wake up on a Wednesday?
We don't have to go Wednesday. Monday itself, you're already feeling like that.
True.
And the moment you realize, where's the weekend? You won't even feel the weekend, to be honest.
I'm laughing not because it's funny, I'm laughing because it's painfully true.
It is difficult. It is not easy. Being a parent, it doesn't come with a book, guidebook, rule book or whatever it is. It just comes naturally with the instinct, right? But trust me, being a parent, what I realize is, especially those early years, right? Days goes by very fast. From the time you realize you're waking up early morning and the next thing you know, it's already time for bed.
Yep.
You don't know where the time goes. Obviously, it's all invested in your child and all the running around and all that. But it goes by and it goes on and on. But what I tell myself is that he's not going to be 1 year old, or he's going to be 6 months old forever. So there's always that stage. So you would want to enjoy that moment, not be depressed. So from the beginning of the 1 to 6 months, it's a different stage. It's where you suffer the most. But you still want to enjoy it because that's the moment you would want to remember, oh, my child had this, my child had that, whatever. It made you miserable and you didn't sleep, all those kind of things. And then later on, when he's 2 years old, that's what they call that terrible twos. So what he did at that point of moment, or what she did at that point of moment, how was the attitude? That's why they call it terrible twos for a reason. I was curious because I hadn't gone through it. But many of my friends would say, oh, he's going to hit the terrible two. Oh my God, you're so doomed and all that, right? And we actually saw that in Tristan. So there's all these different stages in their life that you not only would think that, oh, it's going to be bad, it's going to be horrible or whatever, but you also would want to enjoy it. So every day is a brand new day for me. Faith was growing bigger and bigger. God was with me, pushing me and holding me through together. But at the same time, to me, it wasn't a normal day. To me, every day it's a new day for me to see what's coming.
It's so funny you said that because just last night I was reading this verse about how his promises are renewed every morning. And it's true, right? You wake up every day and you can choose to carry the burdens from yesterday into the new day.
Yes.
Or you can wake up every day and you can realize that the promises God made to you back when, it's renewed every single morning.
Yes.
To even just be alive, it is God telling you, I have not forgotten you.
Absolutely.
Here is the promise I made you. It is renewed.
Yes.
And I think that's what got us through, especially when things were tough, especially on days like Wednesdays. It's God, give me strength.
Yes.
Because that's all you have to go on.
Yeah, especially in the midweek.
Yep.
Yeah. You feel like giving up because by the end of the day, you already feel like you have nothing to give anymore. But when you wake up in the morning, you have to think it's a brand new day. It's a different day, right? So whatever was in yesterday, you have to just leave it behind. That's how you wake up and you motivate yourself.
Something else that motivates you, I think, is when you start to see the fruits of your labors.
Yes.
Seems like a lot of hard work with little to no reward. But I'm going to ask you this question, right? Have you ever had moments where you looked at the boys and you realized that all of that hard work is actually bearing fruit? It's being passed on. You see the things that you've been trying so hard to get through actually registering.
Well, I do actually, to be honest, because of course every child has different personality, right? So everyone is different. But to be honest, when I look at them, they are special in their own way. So like example like Tristan, right? So he's very compassionate. He has a lot of compassion in his heart. And as for Ethan, he's very kind, right? So basically, it's in the end of the day, they look at you and it reflects, right? So, you know, who you are, what kind of a person you are. And that's what the children look at. That's what the children sees. And that's what they learn. And that's what they adapt. They be the way that, the example that you are trying to show. So, yeah, I have seen few different characters here and there, right? But for example, the very strong one that I have seen is with Ethan because he's very similar to how I am, but he's a person who gives, right? He has a lot of kindness in his heart because I've seen that even you have nothing, so he would still give. He has that nature in him.
If Kavita could give away the house of the clothes on our back, she would give it away.
I would just give and give, right? I just love doing that. And I know that Ethan has that very strong personality, that strong character, right? That reminds me of a lot of me, right? So, yeah, I have seen many characters and even like Tristan, the way he prays, right? But I believe that because I'm not very good in sitting and praying in front of many people or whatever, I feel shy because I have not done that before and I'm still learning and all that, right? And when I see Tristan with his confidence that he's able to do that in front of many people, right?
Tristan is 8 years old and he joins our church
Yes.
pre-service prayer meeting and he leads all the adults in prayer.
Yeah, something that I am not even able to do.
At first he just started joining me when we had the pre-service, and it was a few Sundays ago when it was time for everyone to pray and it's like a open prayer session.
Yeah.
Tristan just started praying and everybody was led by this 8-year-old boy praying, right?
And until today, he sits down during the pre-service and he just sits down with all the adults. There's no kids, right? He's the youngest there and he just sits down and he listens. So this is something that Tristan have seen in you, right? So in the father, right? So this is what he have seen and this is what he have adopted and this is what he have learned, right? So it is you who shape your children. It is you who reflect whatever that who you are, what you are. That's how your children is going to see you and that's how they are going to be in the end of the day. Yeah. So this is what I see. It's not all good, right? Maybe one of the example I can give is Aiden.
Yeah. No, okay, fine.
We have to also tell the truth, right?
Yes.
Because it's not all good and, you know,
Oh, God.
because I am also impatient, right? And of course, my dearest husband here also have that qualities.
We both have a problem with patience.
So he has got the worst from both of us.
Yeah.
So impatient, right? Aiden is like that. Every single thing is fast. And at one point, right, when he was sleeping, he sleeps with me, right? And in his sleep, right, he was telling me in his sleep, "Mommy, fast," right? And that's how strong his character is, right? And having that impatient nurse in his life. So,
Yeah, you'll
yeah.
notice we don't talk about Aiden a lot on this podcast.
Yeah, so Eden is like that. So not all good, not all bad. You have everything balanced, right? Your children is not going to just look at you and see, take the good things, because they're not going to know these are good, these are bad. But they are still going to pick things up from you, whichever is strong, right? Whatever strong character or personality that you show on your daily basis, in your daily life, they are going to pick up, they're going to learn. So that's how Aiden got one of these character, because we are like that daily, right? Fast. We do things fast, right? We want to just wrap it up or whatever. So he picks up, he learns and he picks up. But nevertheless, Jaden is very different. Jaden has a lot of kindness plus compassion in his heart. So he has got the both, right? And also, he's a person he's a fighter. He reminds me of me when I was 8 years old. The person who fights, the person who never gives up. So being Jaden, the things that he has gone through from the very early stages of his life, he fights. I can see he's a fighter and he has got that a lot of fire in him, but at the same time, he's a very calm person.
He is.
Yeah. So, all different characters, but I'm very proud to say that all of them has picked up some good values and qualities that we have shown.
And it's not instantaneous, right, guys? Don't look at your kids and how they're behaving and think, oh, I failed as a parent. Look, we've got the whole spectrum. We've got Aiden, who's 3. We've got Tristan, who's going to be 9 soon. And obviously, Tristan is more developed, more matured. Aiden is the complete opposite, right? Aiden is wild, unruly sometimes. But it's a process. And if you go back to when Tristan was 2 years old and 3 years old, he used to be like that.
Yeah.
So it's a process. It's something that takes years and years to get ingrained in them. So don't at any point look at your child and feel dismayed or why aren't my children well behaved? Somebody asked us in church just last week, how do you get 4 boys to sit down quietly in church? I say it takes time. It takes time and it takes a lot of teaching and it takes a lot of educating. We explain to them this is God's house. When you go to someone's house, do you make a mess? Do you run around? No. So why do you do that in God's house? And after years and years of repeating that same lesson, they get it, right? We don't have perfect children. They're not born perfect and we're not perfect parents either. We make mistakes as well. They pick up on those mistakes.
Yes.
They emulate those mistakes. But remember, it is not a race. It is a marathon. Even if you make a mistake today, you have the rest of your lives with them to fix it. But start on that journey to get it fixed. Right? That's how we go through it. So last question before we wrap this up. If you could sit down with a mother who is where you were 10 years ago, right? Exhausted, carrying it alone, not sure if God is even paying attention, no idea what to do next or how to get through the next day, what would you tell her?
Be calm. Good things are about to happen. They are not all bad, as I said. They are not all worse. They are not all bad. Things will happen, like what I say, every day. Treat every day like a brand new day, right? The way you look at things will change. Yeah, your view will change, and the way you feel would also change. So every day is a brand new day. You're waking up to a different challenge, different things. But the most important thing is having God in your life, right? Not only in yourself, but in your child. So to me, what I understand is coming from a non-Christian background, from a person who never had faith before, never knew who's God, and suddenly I have to learn a lot of things. I have a child here. How do I deal with all of this, right? So I learned through the hard ways as well. But I am here, I'm telling myself, first and the most important thing in a child's life is that you have to teach him or her about God. That's how it starts. Because if there's no God in their life, you are not going to go anywhere. You're not going to wake up feeling happy. You're going to wake up feeling miserable. So that is the pillar. That is the ground. That is the main thing, right?
Can I just add one thing to that? What you said about teaching them about God is the first thing. It is so true because as you said that, it just hit me, right? The boy's moral compass is Jesus.
Correct. Yes.
Whenever we tell them you're doing something wrong, we don't tell them you're doing something wrong, but we always put it in the context of God and Jesus. We say, Do you think Jesus is going to be happy if he knows what you're doing right now?
Exactly.
Because from a young age, we have taught them that Jesus is your compass.
Yes.
So when you said that, it just occurred to me, it just suddenly clicked with me, right? That because of that foundation that we gave them, that moral compass exists within them, that I need to do things in my life that will please Jesus.
Yes. And it's not only from your kindness that they see and they adapt and they follow, right? It is also from how we teach them, right? What is kindness and how do we be kind to one another? Books, Bible books, right? Children's
Yeah.
Bible books, those kind of things, right? You have to have them from the early, very beginning. I didn't have them when I was growing up. I struggled to learn, right? Going this path and that path or whatever it is. But it is important. It makes a lot of difference having these books in their life from the very early stages. Even when they don't know how to read, you read to them. You tell them these are the stories and everything. As they grow up, they become more curious. Then they'll ask questions. Who is this? Who is this person in the Bible?
Why did God do this? Why did
Exactly.
God...
So that alone opens up that interest in their life about God, right? And that is the correct path, right? That brings everything else. And everything else will come naturally. All you need to do is the faith in God that you have to plant in their mind, in their heart from the very beginning, and whatever comes next, God will guide and God will lead. You don't have to do anything else. And when you wake up, it's a brand new day every single day. You don't have to worry about anything.
And you just set me up very nicely for, I think, the perfect take-home lesson for this episode. Not that we're teaching a class. One day when I was praying, we were going through a particularly good patch. Not a good patch in terms of the world, right? But the love was there. And I was just praying and I was thanking God, right? Thank you that you have been with us and thank you for giving us this. And God spoke to me that day as I was praying. And he said, Kevin, because there's 6 of us, right? Kevin, when I am not in the picture, you are 6. But when I am in the picture, you are 7. And remember, I told you this.
Yes.
And it's so true because it's also a play on the numbers in Christianity, right? 7 is the number of completeness and 6 is the number of imperfection. So God was telling me at that time that as long as you shut me out and I am not a member of your family, you're always going to be imperfect. You're always going to have problems that are going to drive you apart. But when I am in the picture, when I am sitting at the table with you and eating together with you, when I am in the room as you say your bedtime prayers, when I am with you as you are doing chores, as you are cleaning up the house, when I am with you through every beat of life, your family is perfect.
Yes.
And when we started consciously and actively implementing that in our lives, we noticed the relationships have become stronger.
Yes,
We
it
are
has.
closer as a family now because of it.
Yes, indeed.
So, in summary, parenthood or motherhood isn't about finding a textbook and learning how to do everything the right way. Would you agree?
Of course.
Would you agree that no such textbook exists?
No.
No matter how many people claim they have written one?
Nope.
Yeah.
I have seen a lot, but trust me, none of them worked. The only textbook that works until today is the Bible. Yep. That's the only book that helped me get through everything until today.
Because it doesn't just talk about being a mother. The Bible talks about being a person.
Correct.
And you have to be a balanced person in tune with God before you can even consider being a good mother.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Absolutely.
Did I hit the nail on the head?
Yes.
I know, because that's how it works for fathers as well. Always fix your relationship with God first,
Yes.
and He will fix everything else.
Yes.
Now, Kavita has been writing, and what she's written is a 5-day devotional for parents who are seeking and who are exhausted and are just trying to do their absolute best. It feels like an extension of everything she's just shared. And it's available right now on hisfaithfulnessmedia.com. It's a very simple 5-day devotional, 5 Bible verses once per day, her own thoughts and her own reflections on each of those verses. and what it meant for her at various times in her life. I enjoyed reading it. Even as a husband, I got so much insight the first time I read her notes. I think you will as well. If you have been blessed by our podcast and if you would like to support us in any way, we do have a Patreon. It means a lot if you would sign up and become a patron for His Faithfulness. Also, Jaden's song is out. He Heard, we released it with episode 3. Go check it out. It's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, wherever you like to listen to your music from. It's there. But thank you. Thank you for your time again. Thank you for tuning in once again. We really hope that this has been a blessing for you. I'm Kevin,
I'm Kavita.
and this is His Faithfulness. He was faithful, He is faithful, He will be faithful.